Hey everybody, Rebecca here. I hope you all are doing well. Today is 8/29/2025. Time is 7:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have a piece of news that I'm bringing to you guys. Most of Trump's tariffs have been ruled illegal by the appeals court, which is dealing a major blow to the trade policy. The federal appeals court ruled that most of President Donald Trump's global tariffs are illegal, striking a massive blow to the core of his aggressive trade policy. Friday's ruling is the Trump administration's second straight loss in the make or break case known as VOS Selections versus Trump. Trump attacked the appeals court as highly partisan and asserted that the Supreme Court will rule in his favor. A federal appeals court ruled Friday that most of President Donald Trump's global tariffs are illegal, striking a massive blow to the core of his aggressive trade policy. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit held that 7-4 ruling that the law Trump invoked when he granted his most expensive tariffs, including his reciprocal tariffs, does not actually grant him the power to impose those levies. The core congressional power to impose taxes such as tariffs is vested exclusively in the legislative branch by the Constitution, the court stated. Tariffs are a core congressional power. The appellate court paused its ruling from taking effect until October 14th in order to give the Trump administration time to ask the Supreme Court to reverse the decision. Trump later Friday attacked the appeals court as highly partisan and asserted that the Supreme Court will rule in his favor. If these tariffs ever went away, it would be a total disaster for the country, Trump wrote in a Truth Social post. If allowed to stand, this decision would literally destroy the United States of America. The president's tariffs remain in effect, and we look forward to ultimate victory on this matter, White House spokesman Kush Desai said in a separate statement. Friday's ruling is the second straight loss for Trump in a make-or-break case known as VOS Selections versus Trump. The case was consolidated from two separate lawsuits, one filed by a dozen states and the other by 5 small U.S. businesses. It is the furthest along of more than half a dozen federal lawsuits challenging Trump's use of International Emergency Economic Powers Act, or IEEPA, to impose sweeping tariffs. For the second time in this case, a federal court has held that the president's so-called Liberation Day tariffs are unlawful, said attorney Jeffrey Schwab of the Liberty Justice Center, which represented the small businesses plaintiffs in the case. This decision protects American businesses and consumers from the uncertainty and harm caused by these unlawful tariffs, Schwab said in a statement. The decision today is a powerful reaffirmation of our nation's core constitutional commitments to our nation's founders, especially the principle that presidents must act within the rule of law, said Neil Katyal, Schwab's co-counsel, in the statement. The Trump administration has argued that the IEEPA empowers the president to effectively impose country-specific tariffs at any level if he deems them necessary to address a national emergency. The U.S. Court of International Trade in late May, rejected the stance and struck down Trump's IEEPA-based tariffs, including the worldwide reciprocal tariffs. The ruling also canceled Trump's tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China, which were imposed to address the alleged trafficking of fentanyl into the U.S. The Federal Circuit quickly paused that ruling while Trump's appeal played out, but multiple appellate judges quickly appeared highly skeptical of Trump administration's arguments when they heard the oral arguments in late July. In Friday's ruling, the court found that the challenged tariffs exceeded Trump's authority under the IEPA. Both the trafficking tariffs and the reciprocal tariffs are unbounded in the scope, amount, and duration, the majority ruled. These tariffs apply to nearly all articles imported into the United States, and the case of the reciprocal tariffs apply to almost all countries, impose high rates which are ever-changing and exceed those set out by the U.S. tariff system and are not limited in duration. The 4 dissenters said they disagreed with the majority's conclusion on the question of the tariff's legality, and dissent said that the plaintiffs had not justified their argument from a summary judgment in their favor. The appeal was considered by 11 of 12 judges on the Federal Circuit. The 12th judge on the court, Pauline Newman, did not participate in the case as she has been suspended from her duties since 2023. Newman 98 is a long-running dispute with the court over a request that she undergo a cognitive evaluation in order to continue hearing cases. The appeals court decision came just hours after Trump's top trade negotiators urged the judges to consider what they called supplemental developments in the case, including an assessment from Congressional Business Budget Office that tariffs will reduce U.S. deficits by $4 trillion over the next decade. Striking down the tariffs Trump imposed under IEEPA will cause massive and irreparable harm to the United States and its foreign policy and national security both now and in the future, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said in a declaration to the court. Such a ruling would threaten broader U.S. strategic interests at home and abroad, likely leading to retaliation and unwinding of agreed-upon deals by the foreign trade partners and derailing critical ongoing negotiations with foreign trading partners. So, there is more here. And a statement on Facebook. Trump did post quite a few statements on Facebook today. What he posted here is breaking, and this was an hour ago. Court has overturned President Trump's extensive tariffs. This is a red alert situation for the White House at the moment. The ruling will put on hold until October 14th, during which time President Trump is expected to file an appeal. He further stated on here, I was looking for his Truth Social post. He wrote on here, all tariffs are still in effect. Today, a high-partisan appeals court incorrectly said that our tariffs should be removed, but they know the United States of America will win in the end. If these tariffs ever went away, it would be a total disaster for the country. I'm going to show y'all this statement here. Let me show y'all this statement. So, it says, today a highly partisan appeals court incorrectly said our tariffs should be removed, but they know the United States of America will win in the end. If these tariffs ever went away, it would be total disaster for the country. It would make us financially weak, and we have to be strong. The USA will no longer tolerate enormous trade deficits and unfair tariffs and non-tariff trade barriers imposed by other countries, friend or foe, that undermine our manufacturers, farmers, and everyone else. If allowed to stand, this decision would literally destroy the United States of America. At the start of this Labor Day weekend, we should all remember that tariffs are the best tool to help our workers and support companies that produce great made-in-America products. For many years, tariffs were allowed to be used against us by our uncaring and unwise politicians. Now, with the help of the United States Supreme Court, we will use them to the benefit of our nation and make America rich, strong, and powerful again. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So, that was just one part. And I saw something else that I was looking for. Let me see if I can find it. There was one here that I had seen that, let me see if I can find it. Okay, so I'm on Truth Social right now. There was one on here that I had seen that it would make our country go back to being like 1929. So way back. So there's a lot that we need to be paying attention to as far as these tariffs go. There are trade deals that we've made with other countries and also based on tariffs. And what would happen with those trade deals that we have made with other countries? That is something to be worrying about. So also, defying Congress, Trump has moved to cut $4.9 billion in federal aid. So that is something else that is going on. So I just thought I'd make this video real quick and let you guys know what's going on if you didn't know already. Anyways, you guys, please have a great evening. Remember to tell someone you love them. Tomorrow's never promised. And make each day an adventure. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, and if you'd like to help out with the channel, we do have a PayPal below the video. Anyways, you guys, I love you, and I will see you all later.